Church says, man, we high. I'm smoking and chilling with church now, I guess. I set up the camera there, and then he started playing with my purse and shit, and like emptied all the shit out of it, and is now sitting on top of it and looking at you people. So I decided just to go live. I helped him empty out the purse. He got like halfway in and like couldn't get turned around, so I started pulling stuff out for him, and he just started kicking stuff out. It's like, fuck yeah, let's empty this thing. I think he might be a little high too. Aren't you? He's happy playing. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Probably should have gotten a fucking bottle of water before I started this bitch. But let's make this a short one. Let's talk about knives. I got knives in. Cat. Must we? So it'll be fun. He likes knives. So look at this bitch. See? This is the charade hunting and fishing knife. He likes to like bite and lick metal things. Like, do it. I know you're gonna. I don't know why he does it. I got in a Duke too, but I actually returned it to Amazon, and I'm getting Higanakami in the mail today to replace it. But the other thing I got off of eBay is a Imperial Barlow. Yeah, you little psycho. You have to watch them when you have blades out sharp. It's kind of cool in this, like, I think this is red saw cut bone. It might be plastic. I don't know. These were kind of cheap in the 1960s, but they have good blades in them. I've always liked them. I've had a couple of them, and I sold the last one. I regretted it, so I found one of those. And then the last thing I already did a video on, but it's the Kershaw Culpeper Copper. Little fucking knife psycho. He's eyeing it. He likes this one best. I guess copper tastes good. I'm not sure why a cat craves to lick metal objects. It's weird. Apparently there's other cats that do it too. I think they call it Pika. He's had it ever since I got him. Like, I think it's just what he does. And it's usually pocket knives. Come on back. Sorry. Scared him off coughing. Anywho, I got these 3 knives mainly just to have some representation in my collection of different shit. That's why I wanted the Duke too, because it was so cool and foreign, whatever, but it's so tiny. And the Duke is basically like this thing. It's just smaller and doesn't have a fish scaler on it. And between the Barlow and then the Kershaw Culpeper is basically a Barlow too. So it's like a Granddaddy Barlow. I think I need a Granddaddy Barlow eventually from somebody, but like I'd like to get like a GEC Granddaddy Barlow. I think that'd be bitchin', but like good luck ever finding one of those. I don't know, I might look and find like an old Queen or Case or something. I'll have to look around, look and see what old brands there were. I really Queen is like Ontario's pocket knife company, and they've always made some pretty good shit. I think they're making Chinese shit now though, so it's kind of meh, but that's, this is Chinese shit. But they make a couple different versions of the Culpepper, and I'm gonna at least get the bone one of those. I don't know. I go back and forth about getting the G10 one because the G10 is in this like shitty stainless steel that, in my opinion, no one would want. I should get the Higo Nakami today, and I kind of wish I had spent my money differently now, because I was debating going one of a few different ways, and I ended up going, hey, I'm gonna get 4 kind of cheap knives instead of 1 more expensive knife. I don't know. I think I went the wrong way. I should have just got like a case knife. But at the same time, this Culpepper is pretty damn sweet. I do like it. Guess I'll have to see how much I like the Higo Nakami. That'll determine this. And like, if I don't like the Higo Nakami, I'm gonna send it back and get a fucking Swiss Army knife. Because I still want a plastic handle Swiss Army knife in my collection. I only have the Farmer X. And they have camouflage pattern Huntsmans. One's like a navy camo and one's like a woodland. I think I'm gonna get the woodland one. I don't know, the navy like urban camo is pretty sweet too. I go back and forth. It's kind of like the K Stockman. I'm only gonna get 1 K Stockman, I think, and I go back and forth on which one now. At least for now, I'm only gonna get 1. It's one of those things like in the future I might get others, but they make a couple of different versions right now that I would want, and if I go down the road of buying more than 1 K Stockman, I'm gonna end up buying 3 or 4 probably. Also, I found a knife called a Moose. I really want a case Moose pattern now. A Moose is a large Stockman handle with trapper blades in it, and they do 1 at each end instead of them being from the same end. So it's like a muskrat on steroids. So it's the Moose. I guess it's bitching. I thought it was cool. There's a couple of those on eBay for like 100, and like that's about what the Stockmans and shit go for. And I think I'm going to justify getting another Stockman basically by buying a Moose. And that's I don't know which pattern of Moose I want to get, but I'm not really partial to cases stainless steel, and that limits me on options. Cat, what are you doing? I'd rather have 1095, and Smoky Mountain Knife Works has a 1095 Stockman, but it's in kind of this amber. No, it's like orange bone. I don't really like it that much. It's okay. It would not be my first choice, and the thing is, there are options that are first choice that are micarta, that are stainless, and then there's CV, which I'm guessing is like 1075 or something. It's their standard carbon steel, but that's an amber jig bone. I don't know which way I'm gonna go on that. I'm leaning getting the stainless in micarta, because really the steel doesn't matter to me as much as the handle material on the Stockman. I don't know. I really do like having it in the better blade steels though. Like that's the bitchin' part, and that's I'm probably gonna end up going that way and getting the one with the fucking amber jig bone or whatever that I don't like as much. Forget what they call it. It was like something sunset jigged bone. It's kind of orangey looking, and like I like jigged bone, and I like it like to look a little bit like antler, which is kind of what they did, but they kind of made it a little funny by dyeing it a little orange, in my opinion. Whereas the micarta, they make a green micarta and a natural micarta, and one's 90 and one's 80, pretty much everywhere. And I don't know. I think the 1095 is actually cheaper too. I don't remember. I have to look that up again. I want to say it was like $75. That might be the deciding factor if it is cheaper and better. Because like I'm getting the Smoky Mountain Knife Works Trapper eventually. I might have to save some money to pay Blazer. If I'm doing that, I'm not going to be getting any more knives for a minute. And this is where, like, I really have, like, a pocket knife addiction. I will get more. I think for now, I'm probably spent out. This is where if I do not like that Higan Ikame, or if I'm not in love with it, it's probably going back to Amazon to get the fucking Swiss Army. Because, like, I really, in reality, have a lot of, peasant knife kind of shit. I don't know. I'll have to see how much I like that Higan Ikame. I got the 120 millimeter one, so it should be about the size of this thing. It sucks wanting to go buy like a billion case knives and not being able to. Church, what are you doing? It's crazy. I don't know, it's kind of a useless thing to have, really. But I'd really like to at least just have one. That's where I think that 1095 Trapper. Although, if I was just going to have one now, I found that moose pattern that is really a combination of a lot of shit that I love. Like, it's the blades off of the Trapper, off of the handle, and the Stockman. It's pretty dope. Might just get a moose pattern and say, fuck it. I think that's one they haven't made in a while, too, so I'll be getting an older one, which is probably better. I don't know. I think I'll probably eventually get all of these. It's one of those things where, like, collecting pocket knives is not something you have to be in a hurry about. There's some things that I want to get and, have set aside because I know I want them, and shit's looking like it looks like the world might be ending. And when I say the world might be ending, it looks like we might be going back to a level of trade and economics of like the 1700s for a bit. So, like, we might be able to, like, get some gas together and go trade with, our local community or whatever, but you're not going to fucking do crazy shit, maybe. That's what I'm worried about, basically. I'm not worried about, like, us all blowing up in nuclear fire, really. Although I do, spout about that a lot. I'm really more worried about, like, being reduced to going down to the local gun show to buy knives. And if that's going to be the case, then I need to secure some shit now. Because, like, the shit that's at the gun show sucks. That's honestly, this is why the pocket knife show is a priority now versus other shit. I have other stuff I need to get done too, but this is, my priorities right now are finishing the rifle, finishing the car project, and pocket knives. And I think I'm gonna bounce around. I have other shit that I need to fucking do probably too, but I keep coming back to, what if we're leaving in the car with only the contents of the car? and my priorities are shifted as to such. I'm not worried about a lot of other shit. I'm worried about, the stuff that I would take with me in that car. And, I've spent a lot of money on DVDs and pocket knives here recently. Mainly because I didn't have either of any of those, and they're some of my favorite things in the world. And also, like, fuck, the news has made shit pretty fucking miserable lately. And it's nice to get some of the shit that you love. Like, it makes me happy. It's been a mental boost rather than spending money on boring shit, which I need to get back to doing. Although I did buy a giant pack of toilet paper at Costco. And I went to Costco, so like I actually loaded up. I got 2 packs of water, a big thing of toilet paper, and 3 different things of snacks. So like Costco has like the gigantic things of like individually bagged snacks. So I got like goldfish and some pretzels and what the fuck is it called? I'll think of it. Protein bars. Now, it's prepping too. Now, I said this was going to be a short one, but we kind of keep going on. Wish I had something to drink. I might have. No, I don't. Well, with that, I think we're going to wrap this up so I can go get a drink, but I'm hoping to get the other Kershaw Barlow thing, the other Kershaw Culpeper. I'm going to get that soon just because it's so cheap. It's $26.99, and these knives are worth that. I would not collect every version of this necessarily, but I think that's what I'm probably gonna do, just because I think it's cool. And like, there's not many companies making a slip joint knife that I enjoy today that's not like, Case or somebody that's been doing that for forever. Kershaw normally makes much more tactical shit, and I think buying what you like is like supporting it in a way. So maybe they'll make more. And they already have made a couple of different versions of this Culpeper, so I guess other people have liked it too. It seems like they started making these a few years ago. This is where I've kind of been just sitting out of the knife game for a while because I was making my own shit. And like, when you make a little like fixed blade pocket knife for yourself, you get used to using just that. Especially like I had the predecessor to this thing, the Farmer. So I had that in my pocket, and I had my little fixed blade pocket knife. And if you have both of those, you really don't need anything else. And I think, honestly, I'm buying a bunch of like old traditional knives. I'm not really buying new shit. I think that's, telling of, I'm not really intending to like use any of these in some tactical situation or whatever. These are like my old man EDC knives for the rest of the fucking world or whatever. And like, some of this is I've been watching a lot of Bush Radical. Have you watched that channel at all? And like, he does shit with such old school stuff that it like, I don't know. It made me rethink my opinions of like traditional pocket knives. Because for a long time, I've been a Swiss Army knife person, basically. And, I've had past flirtations with traditional pocket knives, but I never really kept any of them other than like, I don't know, I've got some shit in here that's like old family shit or whatever. Or like this thing that I got in a tackle box when I was a kid. It's a colonial hobo knife. But I've always liked, traditional pocket knives and just never kept them, really. So I've kind of figured on buying a box of keepers. I've got Leathermans filled in. I got buck knives pretty much covered. Yeah, I got Opinels pretty much covered now. I'm working on Balisongs and case knives and Swiss Army knives. And we just filled in a bunch of traditional shit too with the Barlows and the Culpeper is really a Barlow. I think I might just get that other Kershaw Culpeper and call that good for Barlows. You could like go so fucking like hog wild on Barlows, it's not even funny. Like a lot of people don't get that. Like, okay, this was $20. This is one end of the spectrum on Barlows, and like this would be included with that. The other end of the spectrum on Barlows is custom like $600 pocket knives and shit. It's crazy. Hell, probably higher end than that. This is where like, even with like the case knives and shit, if I really was insane, there's, the Tony Bose custom Stockmans that are like in 154 cm that like they range from $400 or $500 up to like $800 depending on what the handle material is. That would be so bitchin'. I really want one of those, but at the same time, that's a ridiculous amount of money. Like that's the reason I'm going after the 1095 ones is because they made them a reasonable price. They're the same price or cheaper than the fucking CV steel ones. And like I don't really know what the CV steel is. I think it's 1075. So I think 1095 is probably an upgrade. 154 cm would definitely be an upgrade, but like it would be stainless, and I would rather have 1095 than 154 cm. So I think it's amazing that they are charging $60-$70 for the 1095 ones. That's my thoughts on case knives anyway. I try not to go too hog wild into all this shit because like I have to spend money on other things. But every once in a while, it's nice just to blow some extra money on pocket knives. Like, what's life if you don't do what you love, right? I think for sure next I'm getting a Balisong and some case knives. I don't know what order I'm going to do that in. That's if I don't get that Swiss Army knife. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm kind of hoping I don't like the Higa Nakami so I can send it back and get the Swiss Army knife. I'm not sure I have the couple of bucks in my account right now to do the fucking, like, the Swiss Army knife is $3 more than the Higa Nakami, I think. So, I don't like banks, and I keep a low balance in my account. And, yeah. Basically, as soon as money hits my account, I pull it out of my account because that's what you should do. I'm like, we're 25 minutes into this. Anyone who stuck with it this far, fuck the banks. You should 100% keep cash as much as possible. And, like, long term, if you have, like, oh, I have this $3,000 that I'm going to save, I don't think cash is a good bet these days. Like, I'd buy gold. I would say silver, but like if you had $3,000, I'd buy gold. And, this is some of the, like, I would include this box of pocket knives in with the gold. Like, not all of it, but a lot of what I have right now is kind of cheap shit or stuff that I've modified that I could sell or trade for other stuff. And I think that's what I'm going to try to do is take the Opinels and, maybe even the custom buck I did and try to trade for some better shit. If you have pocket knives that you would like to trade for Opinels that have been, I don't know. It depends on your opinion, but I really need to figure out a better way to light knives like this to do the knife show. Because, like, I like doing this talking show and being able just to show you a knife, but it kind of sucks that you can't see it. I take Opinels and I fuck them up. The handle's burned and beeswaxed and the blade's patinaed. It'd be cool to trade for something. To be honest, I keep debating on this thing, the Schrade hunting and fishing knife. Do I need to keep this, or is this in the trade fodder too? Because I think I could probably trade this cutlery lover for something. He was interested in this, which honestly, it is a cool knife. I don't know. It's something that, like, I would never carry it, so I kind of impulse bought it because it looked like a Duke and it was $30 and it was so old and it looked like it was in pretty good shape, and, like, I scored. That's basically what it is. I guarantee you that the ones that I was looking at on eBay that were $60 or $70 are no better than this one is. And that's where, like, I think trade value wise, I could probably up my money. And Jeff liked this set of Opinels I did too, so we might work out a thing for all of them. It would be cool to have, like, a case knife from Jeff. I'm kind of attached to my Opinels, though. I don't know. I should learn to let go. Well, I'll see you guys later. I hope you have enjoyed the pocket knife show featuring Church and his psycho knife-licking self. I'm going to do more pocket knife content. I think this is basically going to become my knife show. Prepping and whatever. We'll do that as we do it or whatever. And guns, we'll do that as we do it. But the knife thing is really where my heart is at. So that's probably what we're going to do more of. And, like, some of the other stuff is, like, just to be knife related. Like, camping and survival and that kind of shit as we do it. Might do some of that shit. Fishing. I want to do more fishing too. That's where, like, might keep the Schrade hunting and fishing knife. Although I've never actually understood why you would use a fish scaler. Like, I'm a fillet knife person. I guess it depends on how you're going to cook the fish. If you're going to, like, roast the fish whole over a fire, then I guess this makes sense. Tell me, if you've stuck with me this far, what would you use a fish scaler for? Am I right about just roasting a whole fish over the fire, or is there some other reason why you would scale it, like, versus filleting it? Smaller fish, I think you would have to, like, scale to roast whole. That's the only thing I can think of, really. But, like, I've filleted some pretty damn small fish in my life. So, I don't know. This is where I've got a professional, like, fillet knife in my tackle box that's like, it's cheap as fuck, but it's like the shit like you buy down at the dock. Like, it's what you use to actually fillet fish with. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.